What's going on YouTube? So today we are doing an oil change on my 2012 Aprilia RSV4. A lot of maintenance on these bikes gets pretty expensive at the dealer, and Aprilia dealers are far and few between where I live, so why not save some money and do basic maintenance at home? Let's get right into it and you'll see how easy the process really is. Aprilia recommends a 1550 weight. This is a full synthetic Motul. It is an oddball weight of oil. I had to special order this in, took a couple days, so that's kind of a pain. Same with the oil filter. I found a K&N 138. Hopefully this fits because I had to special order this as well. That is the one downside to owning a bike like this. Nobody stocks parts, even basic parts for services. So just order your parts a little bit before you want to do your service. So first step, we're going to start the bike up, let it warm up to about 70-80 degrees, almost operating temp. Don't let it run too long or else you're going to be burning yourself on the exhaust. That oil filter does sit relatively close to the exhaust on the front. Warming the bike up is going to help thin out the oil, and we're going to get more contamination out of the engine in that old oil. And that's the whole point we're doing a service in the first place. So we need to pop this side panel off, just a couple of Allen keys, relatively easy. Come into the back here. We have one screw in the middle there, one screw here, one screw here, a couple on the top, one in this plastic shroud on the inside, a couple of small locations up the rad, and then one or two in the front lower fairing. Then if you're wondering why the fairing's still hanging on a little bit, there's one Allen screw that's a little bit tricky. It hides right behind the seam of these two plastics. If you look on the inside, there's one extra screw here. So you have to separate the panel. These two little tabs, just push through. And now you can see just a little bit of a gap to get that last screw out. And you can just pop that whole fairing off, kind of leaving this center piece just all together. And that's kind of the easiest way for me. You could fully separate both of these fairings, but it's a little bit of a pain with these little push lock style fasteners on the inside. So one piece, nice and easy. So now the hard part's out of the way, getting those fairings off without scratching them up. Let's take a closer look. You can see our oil filter right out in the open now. And we have a 10 mil Allen for the oil drain plug at the bottom. We're going to want to clean up the little magnet on our drain plug, and then we'll pop the oil filter off. Make sure you guys lube this O-ring before you put it on, or else you'll never get it off again. And this is a correct oil filter, KN 138. And if you have a good grip, you can just snug it down by hand, more or less as tight as you can go by hand, and that's going to be good. Cleaned up our drain plug, and let's put them back in. We got a little bit of oil on the exhaust there. Try and clean it off, or else it's going to smoke when you start it up. So we have our plug in, we have our oil filter on, all the oil's cleaned up off the exhaust. Let's go to fill it. This is our fill right here. It should take about 4 liters. So if you come down on the side, you can see the oil sight glass here. Keep filling until it gets kind of mid-range, and then we're gonna start it and double check it. The level will go down a little bit when you start it. Now our level's getting pretty close. As we start it and fill that oil filter up, the level's gonna drop down a little bit and we're gonna recheck it. And it's nice to have it running with the fairings off still, so if there are any leaks, you don't have to take those fairings back off and mess around. You're kind of right there. Everything's out in the open and easy to see. All right, oil's in it. Let's start her up. For a few minutes and check for leaks. So now that we have the bike running, I'm topping up the oil just a little bit more. This is the full 4 liters and I'm just shy of the low mark. You want it between the 2 lines on the side of the case there. And just keep in mind, I do have the bike on a rear stand right now, so I'm gonna take it off the stand, make sure I'm on level ground and straight up and down to check this properly. Once I'm on level ground, the 4 liters really should be close. And that's really all there is to it. We're gonna put the fairings back on, take the bike for a rip, get it through a heat cycle, double check that oil level, and then we're just ready to enjoy the summer season. So hopefully you got some value out of this video. Hopefully it helps you save a little bit of time and money, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.